That is the big one, right? Here is the lobby as well. Skipaeus won the first lobby. Was talking about set reroll being the composition of choice here. Pasdebol, Le Coco double. So still, a strong French presence. But again, look at that Polish presence as well.
Yes, Skipaeus and Guillosko are going to be sandwiched between the French and the Polish. And yeah, a very heated lobby, I'm sure. We'll see who comes out in the top of this one. But yeah, these are 8 players, the top 4 from first game, top 4 from the second game, I believe, or well, from the second lobby. So we're getting a little bit of a mashup here. Some of the players returning in this lobby for game 2 that we're going to be able to look at, and a couple new faces here that we didn't get to watch last game. So Skipaeus, definitely going to have my eye on him. He's a player I love watching because his compositions at times feel so like sporadic. It feels like you don't always know which way he's going to go. And then suddenly, bam, he pulls out a first. And it just seems like he's that kind of player. So always interesting to watch for me.
Definitely, yeah. We are going to be going into game right here. So get ready. Double 61 on a glove start. Very flexible opening. Something that he has been known to do in the past. Just see like what still the carousel actually was, right? Because sometimes you have that tier glove chain bus carousel, and that's then you kind of like, okay, whatever, dude. But early IE possibility already for double is not an item that we see slammed as much these days here. Early set pair never bad, especially when you have the karma already.
Here comes the sets. All right, this is the set of the set 7 sets sale. As we go into this game too. And taking a quick note as well before we forget, Mirage, top right corner, we got that lovely overlay there. Thank you, production. The electric overload is going to be Mirage for this game. And we'll see. I mean, Skipaeus is going to have eyes on this one, knows that set did well last game. But I want to throw it to you as well, Wida, because we saw day 1, we looked at our kind of statistics, and in day 1, we had 3 quarters almost of the games were AD favored over AP. So AD definitely has a strong presence, and for those first carousels, I imagine you're going to be wanting to try and find some AD combinations, or do you just say, hey, I'm going to go for some defensive items early, try and get a Sunfire or something like that? What are your thoughts?
I mean, the defensive items are better universally they can go across pretty much every composition, right? I think that's the big one to really look out for here when you're looking at those early opening components. Sometimes, taking a bow can also be quite nice. Again, very catch-all augment here, pick from Wells from Pasdebol, going with that Celestial Blessing. Pandora's Bench, not super powerful at this stage of the game because you're not really re-rolling any dragons as of right now, so you might as well just sit back, relax, and take a Celestial Blessing. That is going to be usable pretty much across whichever composition you end up going for.
Yeah, that was a very quick pick as well. It didn't even look like there was much thought that needed to go into it. It was like, right, I'm going to win streak early, going to get the Celeste Blessing, and their board is set to potentially, which I didn't even mean to... That was unintended set pun there, chat. I don't mean to keep doing these, I promise, but we saw in the first game of the day, the lobbies were super stacked very early on. We can see on the right-hand side people leveling to 4 as well early on, so a lot of people looking to win streak. And here we go. I mean, look at this Anivia already. Yes, we don't have the Jade in, but this Anivia is going to be doing a decent chunk of damage.
Interesting decision here from Le Coco, right? Picking up that heroic presence, but not really going for the Leona reroll by going for early level 4. So just going to utilize that early power level from the heroic presence to really show off that early game in combination with that electric overload, right? That's going to be an interesting thing to follow here, actually.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. Definitely make sure you keep an eye on it in chat. We will try to do the same. In chat, something else to keep your eyes on is the Grow My Tree org that we're kind of joining with. You can get a 10% discount right now on planting trees, trying to do some good for the world, come together over TFT and try and make a difference. And you can find out more information on that at !TFT Forest, and you can find out how you can make an impact more than just supporting the stream here today. So thank you for that. And we got a little look here at some of these augments, Wida, as well. Anything striking you so far? A couple hot shots on the board?
Yeah, double hot shot, right? It means you have 2 players now with a clear intention of going towards the Corki. And I also find this Bramble Vest Slam to be interesting, right? Because like back in the day, it was a straight up, like it just straight up negated every bit of crit damage coming through. That is no longer going to be the case, so it's a bit of a weaker item. But again, if that was what you wanted to do with that double chain vest, well, that is an interesting one for sure, right? Because double chain vest right now could be Sunfire, Titan's Resolve, for example. It could be Edge of Nights, Sunfire. Like, there are so many good items with chain vest right now, but it seems like Kaspersky really just wants to play for the tempo.
Yeah, and we know as well, though, it is going to be a very AD-heavy lobby, so at least Bramble will help in somewhat in that regard, but we'll have to see how much that kind of plays off. Also, Kaspersky has the Trainer 2 as well, which super strong right now. Very favored composition, especially if you can get it early on, particularly if you can get it early on. So Kaspersky has still has a decent looking board, I'd say, to start. Nothing like too crazy OP, but just looking pretty decent.
Looking pretty decent indeed here. Skipaeus, again, with a classic Skippy level, going to level 5 to 3, but again, this could manifest his win streak early on here. We do see he's facing the only other player in the lobby currently at 100 HP, so this is going to end up paying off in spades here because he breaks Kaspersky's win streak, and he's also able to make 10, so he doesn't really lose out on anything economically speaking from this as well. So that's going to be this is a very traditional way of playing a game out if you are going to beat Skipaeus.
So you mean unconventional for everybody else is what you mean? Either a traditional Skipaeus opener, and yeah, we had the hot shot versus hot shot for that round just then. We got our second carousel here. We were scooping up some items. Pasdebol there with the spat, so I think that's something to be keeping an eye on. What they might want to go for with that. They've got a couple other items on the bench, so they're going to have options early on, but we'll have to check in with them at some point and see what they end up doing with that.
Does Skipaeus here? Yeah, that's an option, but again, he has the hot shot, right? So the Sire here, it's not a powerhouse of a unit. It's not a unit that without any synergies is really going to help you get through stage 2 and stage 3, but he could just hold it because it's not going to cost him econ. It's not going to make a breakpoint regardless. Depending on the state of the next fight here, you might see Skipaeus go for either a Last Whisper or an Infinity Edge, because he is, relatively speaking, locked into playing that Corki angle. But we'll see how this goes. So yeah, I guess slams the IU right now, needs it because this board from Pasdebol with the Sin Spat is pretty strong.
The Assassin Senna jumping in to the front line to, I don't know, melee people with her giant gun, apparently. And it's working. Got the double Assassin benefit going on and just a lot of potential DPS on this board. So Skipaeus doesn't really stand a chance there. So trading over. No one's on a clear win streak right now. Everyone's kind of just trading things around. I guess Coco has maybe lost the last couple, has won, sorry, the last couple rounds, holding at 98 HP.
Yeah, so right now the only one with a realistic chance of building up a streak into neutrals is going to be Coco, I think, right? So Skipaeus here, while he did get what he wanted initially from that early level 5, you could not really predict the way that the board from Pasdebol was going to be spiking with that early Assassin emblem now. It's going to be giving a lot of direction for Pasdebol in terms of being able to go for the Siphon, go for the Olaf of the world, etc., etc. So very good position to be in right now if you are Pasdebol. Again, a player that has been at the biggest stage before, has qualified for, I believe he did win, actually, the Fates qualifier back in the day. So he's a very, very strong player here now on your screens. And this Sin Senna is going to be doing a ton of work here now. It's worth noting that the magic damage part of her ability actually did get a buff on this patch. So when that build ends up critting, it's doing a lot more damage than used to.
Yeah, absolutely, particularly to that central target that's going to be getting the bulk of the damage as well. So good for her. But Vice has an interesting board here, already dropping the Zeeks in the Chalice. So whoever is next to Jinx is going to be getting quite the power buff going on. But something I wanted to jump back to as well that you were mentioning about Pasdebol is he's not actually playing a composition that has treated him well so far this weekend. But I can circle back around to that. Right now we have Siphon versus Leona, and Leona almost looked for a second like she might actually be able to take that one.
And double 61 here, lost the first fight of the stage quite significantly, but is now on a win streak. Very much in line and has that good old Siphon at stage 2 to thank for that, right? Like, there's really no two ways about it, and with Phil the Hunt, with an IE already, this is a very good position to be in if you are going to be double here. You have very clear direction about what you want to do. You can even, if you get like a belt, for example, even a bow here, Rage Blade is a very good Siphon item as well if you want to go for the primary carry Siphon. There are so many ways of going about it here. That's Rage Blade, it's Titan's Resolve, it's whatever you want it to be right now.
Yeah, definitely got options here for double 61. Something to note as well, running that Thrill of the Hunt Augment, which is going to be very beneficial in these early stages. Grabs a Spat as well for good measure. Okay, well, the world is double 61's oyster at this point. They have a lot of options.
Well, KC double 61 at the end stages of a tournament, you know, like when he makes these day frees, he is Mr. Consistency himself. He's going to be going for that Titan's Resolve. Could even start looking for that Mage Spat angle as well. We've discussed this a bunch with the whole package of like Nami, Zoe's of the world, but the Mage package around the Siphon with a Mage Sona, for example. There are just so many ways for Double to play this game out here. And I'm really interested to see which angle he's going to be taking here, right? Because I expect that Pasdebol will be looking at this board with a level of envy to a certain extent, right? Because he really wants that Siphon most likely with this Synonym.
Yeah, and something to note as well, double 61 is so far this weekend, they've tried different comps over the 2 days, but going into day 3, their most consistent comp over the course of the weekend has been Corki Siphon. So to already get this Siphon early on, to have really good items, good augment to start with, they're going in very, very strong into this second lobby, but what is this augment going to be? Is it going to be anything to do them favors? Is it going to be a blessing or a curse? Okay, Silver Augment is not super incredibly powerful, but Stand United, solid option there, has the reroll as well, should they want it, but no, easy decision on that Stand United, and I think that was the right choice.
Yeah, definitely right. Stand United is such a good one because it just goes so perfectly in tune with that Corki composition, with Corki utilizing both of those verticals quite well. It's just a very nice damage buff to him further down the road, one could argue. So it's just see like how he's going to be able to really go for this here. We could even see an early level 7 on free fight depending on how this stage goes through. But again, this board could be strong enough to just streak out without having to go for that early level 7, really start building up that economy, go for that very strong level on 4-1 instead. Could even see a very fast level 8 here as well. Like, there are options plenty right now for double 61.
Fast 8, I'd like to see it. More opportunity to find those dragons and face it off against Travis here at double 61. Travis got, I mean, a decent Jade board at the moment. Everything's kind of level 1, so it's not super powerful. The Karma's doing okay with the Thief's Glove, but not the best items right now for Karma. And I don't think there's going to be enough in the... Oh my goodness. Okay, I couldn't see the health pools over the top. I thought the Siphon was healthy, but no. Siphon was very much not healthy. That's a surprising one right there.
That is for sure, right? But again, you can see at the end of the day, like, look at the lower HP totals on some of those backline carries here. A couple of extra for the Hunt procs there. And you might have been mighty fine there if you are double 61. So, streak broken, he didn't really invest that heavily into that level 6 as well, so it's not like it's going to be the end of the world. We see a Pasdebol now on double Celestial Blessing here. That's going to be an interesting one to follow, I would say. The Coco on weak spot with that Heroic Presence. We saw that full Guardians that he's been rocking so far. It could be the Yone reroll. I don't think that is going to be the case, but I mean, it is a pretty good setup for Yone reroll in general with like Heroic Presence, Electric Overload. There are a lot of things that could go right there, but again, the items didn't really look like they were anything that way last time we checked them out.
Yeah, and Pasdebol here, we can see on the top side of the screen, running double Celeste Augments. So going to get a lot of passive healing. Whether those, you know, are going to be meaningfully stacked well or not, we'll have to see. The Assassin Senna here been able to deflect a lot of the damage in the early stages of this round, but now going to be the central focus point here. And there's enough in the tank for Travis to take that one against Pasdebol, who's in a little bit of trouble at 46 HP already.
Yeah, 46 HP, and again, not really a lot of direction. And to that sense, I think he's going to be waiting for the 4-1 situation and just start rolling down from there. Obviously, you can no longer get Tiny Titans on 4-2, which I think would be one Pasdebol would really love right now. Corki with a glove here on the carousel is going to be a very enticing option for a lot of these players that are aiming to play these Corki boards already, right? You have both of the hotshot players really wanting to go for that, and it is going to be Skipaeus, who is one of the hotshot players, I do believe, picking up that Corki, while Kaspersky, the other hotshot player, has to make do with that Hecarim with a tier instead here. So now Skipaeus Well, we saw he had an open bow that has been stand. It has not been. It has been made. Okay, so at least he has options.
Yeah, double 61 still holding on that spat as well. We'll see if they end up sending it there. I didn't actually see what they managed to pick up off the carousel, but we'll see what they end up going for. Skipaeus just leveled to level 7 as well, so keep that in mind. I think the majority of the board is still level 6, or a lot of them should be. Maybe those, win streakers up at the top have already gone to 7. I'd have to see. Maybe we got the widget around that can pop up. It would be a nice little reminder for us. But double 61's board here now. They got 4 Whispers in, 4 Bruiser. Siphon is the bulk of the damage here for double 61. That's pretty much all that they've got riding on is just these Whispers doing enough damage, the Bruisers being able to sustain long enough for the Siphon to jump around the board and take care of these carries. And here it comes. Oh, they're going to charge to the Corki. They do, but they get stopped midway. Going to have to fire down the rest of the line, take care of that Jinx first. Getting CC'd here. Jinx gets one final ult off to give Corki the time they need to take care of the Siphon. Siphon's going to charge through the Corki, take care of that, no problem. And Siphon, if they can get the kills with this Thrill of the Hunt, should be in the clear. But these Nunu and Shen are putting up quite the fight for now.
Yeah, for now being the key word right there, right? I think that we are back to regular scheduled programming right now if you are going to be double 61 here. Also, this U angle could be better as well. I think you can end up fitting a lot of synergies into these Jade Flex sports. So if he wins this round here, it's not going to cost him any econ, so might as well hold it for now. There's no reason for him to not do that. Again, he could be going for a roll on for 1. If he finds a random Xiaoyu 2, well, he is in luck, because that was quite significant. And again, his items are not horrible for Xiaoyu either, so he's not totally locked into a single game plan as of right now.
Yeah, would you say that you're going to probably want to read the lobby and see, oh, we already have a couple Jade goers, right? We got Xiaoyu on the side of Guillosko there, so you say, oh, maybe I'll keep the Siphon. Are you holding the Xiaoyu to prevent other people from getting it? These are the questions that are going to be coming to mind. And remember, like we say, this is day 3. You're going to want to try and get first place overall in the day today. That's what really, really counts. So any kind of cheesy little strats that you could do, any optimizations to delay the board strength of the opponents is going to be what you're wanting to employ as your tactic.
Yeah, again, that's now he's not on a Siphon pair, right? There should be clear direction. He's probably going to hit this Siphon first.
Oh, yeah.
Again. And as we've been talking about before, let's just highlight this again, right? KC double 61 here. Set Galaxy's regional champion, Galaxy's world champion, then kind of had a couple of offsets where he didn't perform to the expected level that we expect after double 61. Came back, gave us some gadgets, won Rising Legends last and won the finals there. He's an incredibly talented player, and he just knows how to play these day 3s out to a high level. And by already being in the top lobby, that is also going to be pretty prominent here. Now, this roll down is going to be pretty important. We're going over to Pasdebol, who now has transitioned over to Olaf. But it's Olaf 1 as of right now. It could be like the setup around the Olaf is quite good, but Olaf 1 is not going to be that good.
Going below that 30 gold point has the allow if they want it. They're going to choose for it, keep rolling. They're going to be wanting to collect the... There we go, there's the Olaf. They're going to want to be collecting these Olafs and these Dianas. I imagine they're going to want to try and 3-star them, that we have seen players this weekend not been able to 3-star their Diana and their Olaf and still win lobbies with Scale Scorn as their composition. So it's possible, it's doable. What can Pasdebol do here going up against double 61? These assassins are cleaving through the backline. Siphon charging over, going to take a massive chunk out of Diana, and now it's going to come down to Siphon versus 8. Thrill of the Hunt is going to delay this fight that little bit, but I don't think Siphons has enough, even at level 2, to be able to deal with the board strength of Pasdebol here.
No, definitely not, right? The only downside for Pasdebol right now is that he's not really been able to grow this Olaf. And speaking of growing, there is currently going
Here's your eggs, chat! Here are your eggs!
It's no longer, okay, think fast, way too late, no goal to work with here, right? Scale Scorn Crown, we've seen how powerful of an augment this is in the past. Speaking of, right, he's not been able to grow the Olaf, you can grow your tree, grow my tree, it's in chat, TFT Forest, all the good stuff over there, get 10% off if you want to help, grow a forest. Trees are nice, trees are good here. However, Makeshift Armor or Scale Scorn Crown is the real debate here, and it has to be Scale Scorn Crown.
It has to be Scale Scorn. But then, at the same time, they've got to get, one more Scale Scorn to be able to get 6, so they've maybe got options to move things around, but I think it has to be, like you say, Think Fast is kind of useless when you're on 8 gold, or 6 gold, And makeshift armor is, you know, I think it's probably better reserved for legend comps at best. But scale score and talent here, pretty good. We did see the scale score on Yasuo, I believe, day 2, I want to say, do pretty well. So that could be a potential contender later. It does have the remover as well, should they want to do that. But look at just the damage on this board, Weeda.
Yeah, a lot of these boards are not going to be equipped to really deal with this. But however, again, we talked about this before. Heroic Presence, Bramble Vest, Ionic Spark, Braum just doing quick work of all of these assassins that has just been softened up, right? Again, now it's going to be a big question whether or not the healing and the shielding from Diana.
The time is going to run out.
The blessing is going to be the big kicker here, or the shield from Braum is going to be enough here. Okay. But you can kind of see the power level of this type of composition here now, buying a lot of time in the backline for that Dacia on a different day of the week here. Scale score on 6 has been found, good by Bruiser. And then it's going to be a nice little damage hump to improve damage increase. You see that the board right now is very powerful already. Speaking of powerful boards, that's a Radiant TG and a Shio U2 Cyber.
Yeah, this is gonna be very strong. Obviously, every round is going to be a little bit of touch and go, as that Thief's Glove is going to be giving you the luck of the draw. You're going to have to hope that you get something good each round, but this Morello is going to be pretty decent. Edge of Night, not too shabby either, I'd say. Now we're going into this fight against Kaspersky here, and Siphon charges straight to the back line, doesn't deal with the Anivia, so Anivia's going to get a couple more casts off here. I think Siphon's just going to go down, and Shio Yu is just doing decimation of the backline for Kaspersky. So, yeah, Guillosko here, very strong board. I think Anivia's going to hold on, though. Yeah, this is an Anivia win.
Final casts? Yeah.
Yeah.
Very close
to the wire.
It was looking like it was going to flip back to it just for a second. Speaking of down to the wire right now, HP totals for the bottom 5 players of the lobby are within 10 HP, so very, very fine balance right now that you know, you gotta walk at that knife's edge here. You are approaching the final full component carousel here on stage 4, so these are the options here where you have full control of your direction. You can slam an item with what you have open on your bench right now. That's going to be the big one here, right? Obviously, you're going to get a lot of control on the dragon, but if you don't really get, if you are in a very pressure position, like if you lose a lot of HP going into the dragon, you're going to be in a much tougher spot. So just see how this goes here now. You can see Skipaeus is going to be going for a roll down here on 4-5 instead, trying to find something that can just help stabilize him. He's holding a lot of pairs, including a Corgi pair on the board that he would very much like to hit. But again, Corgi is all over the shop right now, but it's also in his shop, which means the transition will be made now. Whisper Corgi as well. That's an interesting one.
Is this going to be a short-term transition, though? Because they're holding, yes, the Shyvana. Well, they keep playing with my emotions, swapping her in, swapping her out. They've got the Shyvana Nico. There's that potential to be played. They are playing Hotshot, though, so it's like they're going to want to keep that Corki in as well. Maybe Shyvana can be a frontline damage later on and allow the Corki to pop off and do the work. Here comes the Siphon. Now we've seen Siphons charging left, right, and center in this lobby, but not really being able to get the contact time that they need on these carries. But it's fine, because Travis has more in reserve, right? He's got the Anivia, got this calm over the double redemption, keeping the backline nice and healthy. It's enough to deal with Skipaeus and knock down that win streak. That's going to be vital here for the rest of the lobby.
Definitely is, right? And Travis now goes on a win streak, so kind of just yoinks that away from Skipaeus. And again, the big downside for this situation Skipaeus finds himself in right now is the fact that we already see 2 players in the lobby with Siphon 2, right? That being Travis and being Double 61. While Double is very low on HP right now, it still means that this stabilization point that Skipaeus is looking for right now is going to come a little bit later, potentially as well. He's just going to make the transition now instead, it seems like. Meanwhile, speaking of transitions here, rolling down Pasdebol here, it's going to be very hard for him to hit the old F3, right? That's going to be almost impossible with his economic situation in mind.
Yeah, and his health as well. He's at 16 HP. Luckily not going up against one of the top boards, but going up against Visa, who has got a decently strong board. That Nomzi is going to be very powerful based on the Lulu items there. You can see chat. But this is a little bit of a fiesta. 1v1 skirmishes happening across the board. The assassins come out on top. And Pasdebol survives for another round and another day.
Yeah, at 16 HP, though, that is incredibly low. Kaspersky going down towards it as well now. Lots of these players here are just one massive hit away from facing death here in game number 2. A lot of these options are pretty enticing. No anti-heal currently on the board for Pasdebol, but again, no real good applicant of that Morello, so just going to be keeping on rolling through here. Okay, finds 2 Olaf in the shop, so he's one step closer to the Olaf free, but he got to survive for it to
Rolling
really come
desperately
into play.
for it. Doesn't really have any gold left though, Weeda. Doesn't really have anything left on the board to sell off either. Does get the level 2 Braum that's going to help stem the tide, but not by much. I mean, you really need that Olaf 3, or at least the Diana 3. Do you just say, right, I'm going to sell the Diana or the Olaf and try and make a break and at least 3-star one of them? Or do you greed here, Spatula?
I think you kind of had to greed here, right, to a certain extent, because even then the gold that you're rolling with is not going to be enough to even give you enough gold, even if you found a free Olaf shop, for example, right? That's the thing that was worth noting here. Only 8 gold tied up in that Shyvana, another free on the Swain, which is just there for better odds right now. At this point from Coco, I am very interested to see how this is going to fully function. The Heroic Presence frontline with that Radiant Morello Nomicon as well here, so very good amount of damage coming through here from Coco. Granted, it's going to be given time to ramp up, so again, Heroic Presence with the Braum freeze. It's just so much time bought in the front line.
Yeah, so much time bought for this Deja to go to work here for Coco. And it's going to be Corki versus Deja here. And I think that Deja's going to get this upper hand because, like you're saying, that Braum's just living for so long. 3-star Braum, so well itemized. And then you've got the backup with the Nico and the Thresh. That Deja's got all day to ramp up.
It does indeed have all day, right? And Braum free is just such an obnoxious unit to play against, right? Because it just ends up blocking so much damage from that direction, which is just so big. It just means it never dies, really. And that's the big kicker, is when there's no Giant Slayers in the world, there's no Last Whisper, stuff like that to really help take it down. That's going to be the big deal here now. And looking at a board here, you're talking about how whatever was going to be next to that a little earlier on in the game was going to be very buffed up. Well, Visors, both his Sona and his Nomsy are going to be quite buffed up. Again, look at the augments and look at the HP total here. He's in trouble.
Yeah, there's a couple players in trouble, right? We got Visor, we got Kaspersky. We're checking in right now with Visor on screen, going up against that Radiant Anivia, who has potentially 2 of the worst items Anivia could be getting, but the Shio Yu is still going to be a threat with the Trinity Force. Bloodthirster, Rage Blade just going to be ramping up. Very powerful, but not enough power to compete with Vice's backline.
It's going to be a Guillosko brought down into single digits as well here now with Kaspersky. Also, he's going to be going out. That's an 8th place for the poll right here, right now. So there's still 2 more Polish players around. Travis at the top of the lobby doing quite well. Visor could be following very shortly down in that 7th place, though. He is not looking too healthy. Did win the fight we just saw beforehand, and now level 8 coming through from Coco here just to kind of show off this board. Guillosko, another player that is struggling to a certain extent here, but now has gotten that Zephyr from that TG side.
Yeah, something to note as well real quick with Kaspersky there is that he actually went 3rd in the previous lobby, so now to go 8th, it's a little bit of a delicate one. If he'd been able to go, 1st last round, then it's okay, it balances out a little bit, but 3rd and 8th, oh, I gotta shape up over these next 4 games if you want to be winning this thing.
Zephyr lands correctly here. I do believe it's a ghost fight though, but even then at the end of the day here, just landing that Zephyr is going to be a massive godsend here for Guillosko. And also that Nico with the Bramblevest should buy a lot of time for the Shio Yu to get to work, but it's just getting torn apart here slowly but surely.
Yeah, it's hard to see the Shio Yu health. There's that little sliver that was getting covered by the Olaf, but then Shio Yu just bonks Olaf out of the game, and Guillosko holds on. But
Pasdebol out.
Yeah, Pasdebol out on 0 HP, or did that just reset as it came through?
I have no idea now, but Skipaeus gets himself a Yasuo. That is going to be massive. That is a very, very lovely pickup for him. Looking at now Travis and Coco having to finalize their pickups. Not the greatest of options, right? I do believe Static Ship's going to be quite okay for Coco. Just softening off those targets for the Deja is going to be quite alright here now. Okay, Skipaeus wanted the item more so than the Yasuo now. Gets the 2-star either side.
Yeah, 2-star Idis at 7 HP. That's gotta hopefully be enough to hold on against these other two potential, 6th and 5th place boards. You got Vice Guillosko also in that firing line. So Skipaeus has to hope that Idis 2 is enough. They've got, I don't know, there's 2 Bruiser Idis. Silas, very strong frontline, got a great Thief's Glove set here. And hope that the Corki can do enough damage here and we get some good Sona ults to stall the line of Guillosko, but a great Shroud there, all through the middle of the pack. That's going to delay Skipaeus from getting up online. Meanwhile, the Shio Yu is powering through the front line onto the back line. Corki gets stunned, delays his damage just that little bit, and that's going to be enough for Skipaeus to get knocked out here. So Guillosko is definitely going to hold on, but Visa, where are they going to finish as well? This could be a 6th or a 7th here. So Visa goes out. He's on -1. Skipaeus, I think, is going to go 6th there.
Yeah, not ideal, right? You talk about now, but he did win the previous lobby that we didn't see on stream. So, not the end of the world. Has a first already all banked up to go. So now it's going to be the top 4 of Guillosko, double 61, Travis, and Coco. And again, this is an amazing run from Guillosko, right? He was 33rd in the open qualifier, or whatever the break qualifier. I think it was 33rd in the open qualifier. Then someone had to drop out of the qualified players and then made it in now. Now he's in with a shot of taking the entire tournament. That's a massive thing. That's a massive storyline to work with here. But again, talking about massive things, this board from Coco is just absolutely wild.
Yeah, Coco's still sitting at so much HP as well compared to the lobby, so could even afford to make a mishap, get an unlucky round, and not win it. But I think they are going to win this one against Guillosko here. That Braum 3 is just so powerful, lives for days. Guillosko going out 4th, but like we said, Guillosko came first, game 1, going 4th in this lobby. That's decent. That's decent.
Yeah, and it looks like it's the old-fashioned tradition of TFT. We have France currently on top to a certain extent, right? If we just disregard that Pasdebol is down there in 7th, then it's France on top currently right now. Double 61 here.
It's a French sandwich.
Would that be like is it so
it's a French toast.
Croque monsieur?
Sandwich.
We have this thing that we call like the Parisian toast, which is not a Parisian toast, but it's like toast, and then you have like cheese slices, then you have a piece of ham in the middle.
Oh, like a grilled cheese with ham?
Not really, right? Because
not really? Okay, fair enough.
With a grilled cheese, you have the cheese on the outside, no?
Not necessarily. No, for a sandwich, you have it on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, it's not grilled cheese. It's not. It's made on toast. You don't make a grilled cheese on toast.
You'll have to show me on Breakweed after this game, and we can get some lunch together. But yes, this is a little French sandwich, as you were mentioning here. A little bit going on for this lobby. Coco, double 61, both sitting up at the top. Travis potentially maybe can lose one more round, but this is a point. Maybe Coco goes 9 as well. I don't think they are. They've got 34 gold that they're sitting on. I'm trying to look at that board now and see if there's anything immediately that they want to be changing around.
Oh. That Siphon charge there just turns around at the end of the day here. And
that tries away from the Deja though.
Again, there's no healing here because he went away from the emblem of the Jade statue here, Coco, right? So this could kind of be a quite massive hit now. And depending on the outcome of Travis's fight here, this could be the game. Travis wins the fight. It's going to be so decisive.
That Braum held on for so long, and yeah, Siphon charged straight to the backline, as you mentioned, got rid of the Deja almost, and then Sona finished her off. But that could have very easily gone differently.
Very, very easily gone differently, as well as you do believe, as you do say here, right? So now, double 61 on a full streak, Coco on 24 HP, and Travis is more or less one loss away here. Does find a Shio Yu too, so is upgrading his board slowly but surely, getting into a better position now. Very strong item set up for these specific type of fights. Doesn't have a healing option on the Shio Yu, and there's no Soraka on the board, so if the Shio Yu goes low at the start of the fight, it is going to be one hell of a mountain to climb.
Yeah, and yesterday was all about Cybernetic. Let's see what it can do here for Travis. That Shio Yu 2 going to be making all the difference, can really come online there with a double Titanic Resolve. But it's going to go down against this Deja. This Deja seems unstoppable at this point.
It does, but again,
Travis down on -1.
as the close one, again, we were talking about how it's massive and all that, but we did see double more or less without any issues, really just annihilating the board from the Coco, right? Again, with 52 gold here, the only real upgrade he can make right now would be to go level 9, try to roll for free costs. Upgrading a Tarek 2 is not even going to be a massive one either, right?
No.
So there's a lot of things here. Well, the Coco is just hoping that he has at least one more fight to really start accelerating himself into a better position.
Well, we saw game 1. The set reroll was the carry. Let's see if Brom 3 can be the carry of game 2. Deja has all the time in the world here to get that cast off, but Siphon's making a beeline, takes care of the Thresh, no more CC there. Brom's holding on nicely, but Deja just keeps getting CC'd over and over again. Gonna be dealing with this backline at least, so it's gonna come down to Siphon versus Brom. But the Sona Zoe combo is just causing havoc here for Coco.
Oh my god, like, again, you see, like, that ulti would have taken out, like, that would have removed the Sona, removed the Zoe from contention, and the Kale ulti, bang, talk about divine intervention right there. Maybe it wouldn't have been super fight deciding regardless, like, maybe it's still won, but it's still, like, a massive demoralizer to have to face there if you're all the Coco.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's just so much CC. How do you combat that? I'd say like positioning differently, but then again, these Zoe ults are just board wide. Same with Sona getting all across the field, so it's a hard one. But we're gonna have to see what they do. This is the time to be rolling down gold now or leveling. Obviously, neither have enough gold to level, so it's gonna have to be the roll down. There's the Tarek 2, chat! We finally got it. Tarek 2 coming in at 6-5.
Massive power spike here, right? The biggest of power spikes here. But now, again, you can see how the positioning has been changed around. He's going to be remaking the Deja as well. They're putting that Edge of Night onto it to see if that aggro drop is going to be making all the difference here.
Wow, remaking Deja 2 just quick as a flash at 6-5. There we go. Siphon's all on the wrong side of the board. Sona's turning her attention to Deja now, though. And with the Mage Spat, that's so good here. That's got to be one of the plays of the game in this one. Sona just being able to shut this Deja down. And I think that's going to be enough to send Coco packing. Double 61 takes the second lobby of the day, the second game. There you have it, chat.
That's a massive with double. Again, I will say though, right? I didn't see a single bad ability being pulled there